Okay, so we don't need that just yet. We only have a few of them. But this is really the basics of standard shape. You can see it also has this particle mapping where it talks about over life, over time, or over distance. These are for when you're using the face map option. If you look in the max help under, what is it, using particle mapping, it has a discussion about that there. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and right click and disable standard shape and right click and disable size. And now we'll go ahead and right click and enable Giome Instance, and we're going to go ahead and bring up our command panel, and we're going to create some extended primitives up here. Let's go ahead and create a torus knot. We want to create a small one, and let's also go ahead and create a chamfer cylinder. Put a few fillet segs in there. Okay, and so for Giome Instance, we're just going to go ahead and use the interface here. It has a pick object. It's going to allow us to pick some objects, and you can see immediately we get these particle shapes being updated. That, of course, again, is because Edit on the Fly is turned off. It gives us real-time updates. We have Show Mesh turned on. But we also want to go ahead and add another shape for the particles to use. We'll go ahead and pick this chamfer cylinder. And now you can see it's assigned that chamfer cylinder to one of the particles, and it's using the torus knot for the others. When we go ahead and render, we can see that each of these particles uses the same material as its source object. That's very important. Let's say we go ahead and we'll create a couple more materials. Let's create a red. We'll use that red that we had before, put it on the toruses. And then on the chamfer cylinder, we're going to go ahead and create a new material. We'll make it just a simple green and drop him on there. And now when we render, of course, those are updated. Let's go ahead and take a look at the material editor. Let's go back just so we can kind of understand what's happening. The Multithinking 01 has created a, let's get this over here. Multithinking 01, first we created the Giome Instance operator, and so that's why it is listed here in slot number 2. And it's using what's called a TP multi-sub-object material. This is a special multi-sub-object material that handles cycling through materials applied to objects. And then we also have the standard shape. Standard shape is that red material that we had given it right here. But again, do not go into and modify the Multithinking 01. It's bad news. Always go back to your original materials, make any changes you need to these, and be happy that TP updates that for you. And there we go. We see that update, of course. This is all very simple. Let's go ahead and take a look. We'll complicate things a little bit. Let's create some more geometry out here. We'll create just a kind of a smaller cylinder. We'll create a few more of these. We'll add some of these smaller spheres. Let's make a new material for those. Let's go purple. It's kind of a vibrant purple. And for that guy, now what we want to do is actually create a new one. And let's do a definite yellow. And so we'll go ahead and assign that there. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to link these two pieces of extra geometry we created to the other particles we had. And you don't see it right away because it does require, in this case, us to scrub to update. Oh, yeah, one other thing would help. We actually have to enable use Subtree. And now it's going to go ahead and use the main object that we picked, as well as any child objects that are linked to it. So now we can see that update all nice. Now let's make one more kind of combination here. We'll make some planes. We'll take these two guys, link them to that. Go ahead and we'll assign that there, and that one there. And then in our Giome instance, we're going to go ahead and pick this extra plane that we made. And now you see it went ahead and updated that third particle. So it's going to cycle through these when it assigns them to the objects. And you can see all the materials are corresponding. If you want to manually determine which particle gets a certain shape, that can be done. You need to take a look at the actual particle ID. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Multithinking 01 and just kind of see how it's been updated. You remember we've got that standard shape operator, which is disabled. He's still just a single top-level material, standard material. But the Giome Instance now has 3 submaterials to it. Each of them is a TP multi-sub object, and each of those has additional materials underneath it. And this is how TP keeps track of the material trees and the hierarchy geometry used by Giome Instance. So just remember, do not modify these.